Good day and welcome to Royal News Daily, where crowns sparkle, curtains twitch, and politics quietly sharpen their knives. Imagine this: chandeliers blazing, diamonds flashing, and smiles stretched tighter than a federal budget surplus promise. The Danish Royal New Year Gala looked polished enough to blind a camera lens. Yet behind palace doors, the mood felt less champagne and more strong black coffee. Something was brewing, and tonight we are lifting the velvet curtain. Before we dive in, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to Royal News Daily and tap the notifications bell so you never miss a royal twist that lands harder than question time in Canberra. Now, let us step inside the palace. The New Year Gala was meant to signal stability. New king, new year, calm waters. Instead, the atmosphere crackled. King Frederik stood front and center, newly crowned. Every gesture weighed like a policy announcement. Queen Mary dazzled in historic jewels, a walking reminder that symbolism matters as much as substance. In royal terms, that tiara was not just fashion. It was a statement. Think of it as diplomatic dress-up, the monarchy equivalent of rolling out a white paper with extra footnotes. Here is where it gets interesting. Former Queen Margareth was present, composed but observant. Abdicated, yes, but hardly absent. Her presence felt like a retired prime minister sitting in the gallery during a leadership spill. Respectful applause on the surface, quiet calculations underneath. The Danish public watched closely, and so did Commonwealth observers, including Australia, where constitutional monarchies are always one headline away from a referendum conversation. Transition with me now, because the guest list told its own story. Prince Joachim and Princess Marie returned from the United States, smiling for cameras, yet their body language suggested polite détente rather than warm reunion. Remember the titles controversy. Stripping royal titles is a monarchical version of redrawing electorates. It changes power, visibility, and future leverage. The gala did not erase that tension. It dressed it up in evening wear and hoped nobody would ask follow-up questions. Now, let us talk messaging, because this is where politics sneaks in wearing a crown. King Frederik's New Year address leaned heavily on unity, resilience, and shared responsibility. Sound familiar? It echoed the language of modern governance, carefully inclusive, deliberately calm. When leaders talk about togetherness this often, it usually means the room is divided. In Australia, we hear similar tones after leadership changes, when stability is promised precisely because it is fragile. The gala itself became a theater of reassurance. Handshakes lingered, smiles were timed, and seating arrangements spoke volumes. Who sits near the sovereign is never accidental. It is diplomacy measured in chair legs. Every camera angle was curated to project harmony, yet viewers noticed the absences, the brief exchanges, the moments that felt rehearsed. That is not scandal in the tabloid sense. That is soft power at work, and it is fascinating. Let us shift gears because Queen Mary deserves her own moment. Her choice of jewelry, refashioned from history, signaled continuity with a modern edge. In political terms, it was bipartisan brilliance. Honor tradition while updating the narrative. Australians understand this instinctively. It is the same tightrope walked when acknowledging the past while arguing for a contemporary future. Fashion here was policy delivered in diamonds. As the night unfolded, commentators asked whether this gala marked a reset or merely a pause. Monarchies, like governments, rarely resolve tensions in one sitting. They manage them. They delay them. They reframe them. The Danish royal family is doing exactly that, and the stakes matter beyond Denmark. For Commonwealth nations, including Australia, every modernization move feeds the broader debate about relevance, identity, and what a constitutional monarchy should look like in the 21st century. Here is the hook that keeps us watching. When royalty becomes careful, it is because the audience has power. Public trust is the real crown jewel. Lose that, and no amount of gold leaf saves the throne. The New Year Gala was less a party and more a press conference without microphones, a carefully staged reassurance that the institution understands the moment it is in. So what really happened behind palace doors? No shouting matches, no dramatic walkouts. Instead, something far more political. Alignment, recalibration, and a silent agreement to keep disagreements private while projecting unity. In other words, classic leadership behavior. Thank you for watching Royal News Daily. Your time is valued, and your curiosity keeps this channel alive.